I got something in the mail today. It's a DaVinci Resolve speed editor. Pretty excited about this thing. I'm going to hook this up and we're going to take it for a test spin. Okay, here I am in DaVinci Resolve, and I've pulled up a video project that I'm working on called Ecotique Shop Along, and I've got my speed editor here. So first thing we'll take a look at is the fact that I can scroll with this magnificent wheel here. Right now I'm in jog mode, and as you can see, I can go very precisely frame by frame. If I do shuttle mode, I can kind of just spin the wheel and it'll just keep on going. And then if I do scroll, that's like a way to just really quickly hop around, like, and then when I stop spinning the wheel, it stops. So I can see probably using all three of these depending on the length of my timeline. But I can imagine that if I'm in jog mode, that's probably going to be the one that I use the most because it's just fine-tuned basically. Okay, so that's the first thing is I'm in, so I can use that wheel. So then I've learned a few things. So I'm new to this. This is by, I've just barely gotten hold of this speed editor, but I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos and kind of experimenting with it just a little bit before this recording. So I'm going to show some of the things that I've learned and that I'm starting to try to get used to. So in here, one of the first things that I'll do here is we'll look at this. One of the first things is this transition here. So we can see that. Let me turn on the audio and go through this. Okay, so we've got this transition here. So one of the things we can do is on the speed editor, I have this button called transition duration. So if I press and hold that, you can see that I can stretch or I can change the duration here. So let's tighten it up a little bit like that. And then, okay, that looks good. It's nice and short. And then one of the things I can do is if I double tap on this key, now I've just locked in that transition duration for other times that I use that. So let's say I want to go to here, and you'll notice that there's no transition here, right? Okay, so what I can do is I can set a transition using one of these buttons down here. So I can press this dissolve button, and what it's going to do is it's going to take this little down arrow. This is the nearest point that's the, I don't know, there's a word for that, but like the active area, and you can see it's green here. So if I hit dissolve right now, it's going to add a dissolve there, and you'll notice it's the same length or duration as the other one, because I set by double tapping that, I set the default transition duration. Now, what I could do also is if I'm on top of this transition, which is a dissolve, and I go to this transition button here and I hold it, then I can choose different transitions. Let's say there's a whole list of them. Let's do radial wipe, for instance. Let's check that out. So that's kind of fun. And then another thing I want to show that's come in handy is, let's say, oh yeah, so this here. When I play this, I'm going to hear my wife says the word so during the transition. She's like, so blah, 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 blah. And I want to get rid of that word so. So let's work on that.
So this one.
So right there, she says the word.
So this one, this art. So this.
Right there. So she says so. So the first thing I'm going to do, though, before I work on that is I'm going to show you how I can also just mark this. So that's a place where I want to mark. So if I double tap on this mark, this says audio level, but on the front it says mark, which means if you double tap it, it's going to be a marker. There we go. So I've just made a marker. Now, if I double tap this again, I should get a little pop-up, but sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm not sure why, but like, let's go to this one. Yeah, I don't know what I'm not sure why that's not working, but sometimes you're supposed to be able to highlight a marker and double tap on it, and it will bring up so you can change the name of it, that kind of thing. But one thing I do know is if I tap and hold, or wait, if I, oh, maybe I don't know what I'm doing here. I thought there was a way. Oh, there we go. If I think I'm just tapping the key too quickly, but I can set a marker and I can set the color of it. So there, I've just made one purple. And again, oh, there we go. So I guess it's in the timing. Maybe I'm tapping too quickly, but there we go. So I could call this, cut here or something like that. And do that here. Yeah, there we go. So I was just tapping it too quickly. So let's see, remove word so. Like that, right? Okay, so now what I want to do is get rid of that word so. So what I can do is if I hold this trim in button, the waveform at the bottom is going to get really big, right? And so it makes it a little easier to know what I'm doing here. So I should be able to find the word so right there. So I've already go to right about there. Let's see. So what I did was I trimmed that. So let's see if I got rid of it.
This ARC thrift store is 5 miles away.
So there we go. I got rid of the word so. She starts in just saying this. I got rid of the word so. She starts in and says this ARC thrift store is like 5 miles away. So that's just a really nice way using those buttons to hold down trim and use the shuttle wheel to hone in on what I need to cut out. So that's really nice. Another thing I can do is I can hit full view. That takes it to the large, full screen. And if I tap and hold snap, then I can control the size of this display here. So that's pretty nice. Another thing I can do here is, so this is just kind of, pretty important stuff. Here's, let's say I come over here to just before this transition and I want to end it. Let me get some audio here.
Sure, so off we go.
Okay, off we go, she says. Now, if I hit split right here, now I've just cut that clip. I've like as if you were using the razor blade tool. And now I can hit ripple delete and it'll get rid of that part. And
Treasure, so off we go.
there we go. So I just kind of tightened that clip up basically by hitting split and then ripple delete. So that's pretty handy. What else we could do is let's say I want to add a title here. So right there, I want to say on track V2, let's add a title and let's just make it like this. And let's say, we'll say, let's go, something like that, right? So that's not quite the one I want. Oh, I don't want to scroll. This one, basic title. That's what I wanted right there. We'll go to about here and we'll say, let's go. Okay. Now,
go.
As a matter of fact, I'm just being a little nitpicky, but let's put it over here.
Off we go.
Off we go, she says. Okay, so not a big deal. I'm just getting a little carried away with my example here, but let's say off we go. Okay.
Off we go.
All right. So now this is one of the things, this is basically what I wanted to show is that I'm highlighting this title here. And if I hold this transition button, which also has the word title written on the front, and if I double tap on that, you can see I can cycle through these different fonts. So maybe I'll do this one here.
Go.
There we go. No, that's not the best because it's white, but basically that's the point there. Now let's say let's try that other split again. So we say off we go. We turn the corner, and I want to cut it right there. So I can hit split, ripple delete, and that just shortens it a bit.
We go. I can't stand.
Okay, I like that. So that's good. Let's see, what else can we do? Some other things we can do is so we can jump between the timeline, which we're on now, and source. So I'm up here on source, and if I go to my material here, I can find, bits and pieces to kind of scrub through. So let's say I want to go to here where
We're gonna comp everything
okay, so she's
later.
talking about something about this jacket.
Yeah, compared to the bins for sure.
Okay, so we have something here. Now, let's say in our timeline, before we do this transition, let's say it's right here, and I want to split that, but I want to jump back to source. What I can do is I can set my endpoint here.
This one, it does have real pockets, but that's why we're gonna comp everything later.
Okay, so just an example. This isn't so, and I've set my in and out points, and now I should be able to say smart insert, and that pops it in to let me turn off oh, actually I'm gonna undo that because I was on the second video track. So what I want to do is press cam 1, which actually switches us back to the other video track, go back to my source, and do a smart insert. There we go. So now back to my timeline, and then if we just come back here and we press play, off we go, turn the corner, cuts it.
This one, it does have real pockets, but that's why we're gonna comp everything later. I can't stand it when I go and
So this timeline doesn't make sense, but I'm just showing you an example of how we can take things and pop them in using these smart insert and append, that kind of thing. Append basically adds things to the end. So if I hit, it still knows my in and out points. And so if I hit append, that's going to put it, you can see here, timeline, you can see that it popped it in at the end of my timeline. The one thing I can do as well with this is I could say split. Now what I can do is take on the front of split, it says move. So if I press and hold that, now as I move left or right, you can see that it's moving the position of this. So let's say I just go all the way to the beginning. Now I've just moved that to the beginning of the video. So that's pretty handy. So close-up will take a close-up of the like 5 seconds of the upcoming video. It'll put that, let me see if I can find, so right here, this might be good. So if I hit close-up, it kind of takes a close-up and blows it up a little bit here. So let's see what that looks like. Let me get some volume.
I can't stand it when I go and pick things out of the thrift store and then come home and still find flaws. It makes me feel like I'm doing a bad job.
Yeah, see, so it automatically did like a close up there. So one of the things you can do is if you don't like where the close up is, I believe you can hit the the inspector. Yeah. And then you can do you could change like the height or the y axis like that. So
Pick things out of the thrift store and then come home and still find flaws. It makes me feel like I'm doing a bad job.
there you go. So I think that's it. I think that's all I'm going to share today. So I'm loving this speed editor. I think it's going to do wonders for my editing, and I've got a lot to learn. Those are just some of the basics that I've picked up and fooled around with on the timeline there, and on the test timeline. So as I learn more and get better at the speed editor, I'm gonna be sharing some more of these videos so that maybe I can make a progress. You can see my progress over time as I get more used to the speed editor. So I'm really digging it. Thanks for watching, and hope you have a good one.